Hi, I'm Mike, KB8BMY. Up until now, if you wanted to get on DMR radio, you had to have a DMR radio and access to a local repeater that was within range. Or you had to have a hotspot. But now, you can get on DMR using Dude-Star with a Windows computer and a microphone and a speaker. First thing you do is go on this website and download Dude-Star. Once you do that, this is what you see. Go to the settings, enter your call sign, your DMR ID, and your password. And we'll go over those. And all these links will be in the description box. First of all, to get a DMR ID, you go to this site. You register and apply for a DMR ID. Once you have that, you'll be able to enter it in. The password is going to be for Brandmeister. To do that, you go to Brandmeister's website and you go into Services under Self-Care. In this case, you set up an account and you log in. Yep. And once you're logged in, as you can see, you have to already have a DMR ID, and you can fill out all these. Now, the password is designed in the DMR, and everything else is designed for a DMR radio and a hotspot. But in this case, you're using software only in a computer. So you'll see that they'll refer to a hotspot. So you put that on, and you enter in a new password. When you first come on, you're going to find out that there's a password, a default password already there. So it's very important to go on this website and change that password to one of your choosing. And let's go back to the app. So you enter in your DMR ID and your Brandmeister password, and you can put in your location. Once you do that, you go to the main tab. There you can choose the mode. As you can see, there are a variety of modes that you can use with Dude-Star. You can use Yaesu Fusion, P25, M17. In this case, we're going to choose DMR. Once you do that, you want to select a host. And again, as you can see, there's a variety of hosts, and we'll go over these. There are a couple different networks on DMR. First of all, there's Brandmeister, DMR-MARC, TGIF, and some others. But we're going to focus primarily on Brandmeister and a little bit on DMR and TGIF. All these are networks that are worldwide. So first of all, let's look at Brandmeister. If I want to select a talk group from Brandmeister, a talk group basically is like a channel or a frequency or a chat room, whichever way you want to look at it. But here's a list. 91 is one of the busiest ones. It's worldwide. This is on the Brandmeister network. As we scroll down, we can see there's quite a few of them. And they're arranged by countries. Keep on going down here. Let's find the ones in the States. Okay, here we go. Once we get to the States, we've got TAC 310, or you would simply put in talk group 310, 311, and so on. These are actually for having QSOs. They're not a call channel. Basically, you start out somewhere else and you go to 310, 311, 312. You may start on 91 and say, hey, you know, it's a long conversation. Let's go to TAC 310. That way we're not tying up a call channel. It's a lot like if you went on the national calling frequency of 146.52, and let's say you're at Dayton and it's really busy, and you said, hey, let's go over to another frequency, and we'll have a QSO over there. Then there are talk groups that are designed for states. Or regions. And then there's specialized ones. Here's one for the hurricane net. And as you can see, there's quite a few of them. And if you use this site, and it'll be in the description box, you can find this listing. So let's go back to Dude-Star, and let's go ahead and connect. You'll also want to bring up your codec gain to about 3/4. We've already saw a station come in. And again, right now we are on talk group 91, that is worldwide. If we want to change talk groups, let's try North America, which is 93. Now you'll notice I had to wait till there was no one else talking before I switched channels or talk groups. Now when you put a talk group in and hit the PTT or the TX bar, you're not putting any audio out. All you're doing is sending a command to switch from one talk group to another. And as you can see, we've picked up something already on 93. So we did successfully change from one talk group to the other.
Hotspot is working beautifully. W2CYK, Mobile, New York.
Now the graphical interface, if you want,
you loud and clear into Australia. Good luck, 7-3.
You can resize however you want.
Thank you much, Australia. KJ6GEU, Bob in Southern California. Have a great day, 73.
Bring that up a little bit.
It's 2% loss on you there, Bob. Name's Barry, location's about 80 kilometres southwest of Melbourne, but you're sounding good, mate, over. Thank you, Barry. It's Bob. I'm about 60 kilometers northwest of Los Angeles. It's a little toasty out here. It's about 28 degrees C, and just trying to get things configured here.
Okay, we'll go ahead and disconnect there. Something I should point out is when you come up on the network, you're going to come up and appear as a hotspot. You'll see cases where people will come up where they're coming through a repeater or they appear to be coming from a hotspot. And we'll give an example here. Let's open up another window. And I am in the Pacific Northwest, so this is one of the sites I monitor. In this example, let's see. This person is actually coming in probably on where I have my cursor, he's probably coming in on a hotspot. Okay, this guy definitely is coming in on a hotspot. He's coming to Bridge CC on Brandmeister 3102. Let's stop a second here and bring this back up. So let's go over to 3102. And that station was coming up on a bridge. So let's see what that is. The bridge is, if we look on the talk groups, it would be 3100. U.S. nationwide bridge. Now actually what that is actually a bridge from Brandmeister to DMR. We're going to cover DMR in a minute. But it's taking those two networks and bridging them together on that one talk group. So let's go ahead and disconnect from there, and we're going to give another example of that. Let's say we want to go to DMR. Now, since you're coming in on what's considered a hotspot, you're going to be linking in through DMR Plus. So I'll select this one. I'll take that out. Let's go ahead and connect. This will probably default on 3100 because I think that's what
this is KE8PBA to W86FUW. You're coming in loud and clear.
Okay, remember that call. There he is. Showed up.
KE8PBA, this is W86FUW. Thank you very much. Aloha.
As you can see, they came up here.
Yeah, it looks like your name is Julie. Julie, I've got a question for you. I was just monitoring and getting ready to head out to dinner here shortly, but every time I transmit here, sometimes I'm hearing myself come back a little bit before I hear you come back. Are you hearing an echo on your end or anything unusual?
Well, I'm not at the present moment, but I have earlier today on other talk groups, so I'm not sure what's going on, and I am not an internet expert by any means, so I have no idea, but no, and I don't hear an echo on you either. KE8PBA, this W86FUW.
Okay, Julie, W86FUW, I appreciate that. Wow, I just realized you're in Hawaii. Are you actually in Hawaii? Back to you.
Well, I'm looking around, and yep, it looks like I'm actually in Hawaii. Yep, I live on the southern tip of the big island of Hawaii. See, Richard, and you're in Ohio, so nice to meet your acquaintance, Richard.
Well, you too, Julie. Very nice to talk to you. I was just getting ready to leave, and I heard you, and I just wanted to see. I'm a relatively new ham and have an open spot 3, which is how I'm getting in here from a Yaesu. This is a 400 XTR. A lot of times I'll use Extend with D74 on D-Star cross mode. But this is the first time, every time I let go of the PTT key, I hear a little of my own voice back, but it doesn't sound like me. Interestingly enough, I was reading that the longest distance, reading about some theory of radio, the longest distance that VHF has traveled documented is like 5,000 miles, which I found hard to believe.
Oh, yeah, well, you can believe it because my son has actually made a contact on HF to, I believe, South Africa, which from Hawaii is quite a few thousand miles, and on only 5 watts. He runs QRP, so very possible. Back to you.
NU5 Delta KM5 Tango Charlie.
Okay, and as you can see, what we're doing right now, we
the
are...
W86FUW. Yeah, actually, Julie, I've heard of that plenty of times on HF, which I'm not licensed for yet, but hopefully shortly. But on VHF, I thought that was really interesting. And I think that another gentleman's trying to come in on Michael. So, Julie, I'm gonna have to head out to dinner here shortly. We're 723 here in Ohio, so to WH6FUW, this is KE8PBA, and I'll get off so KM5TC, Michael can come in. 73.
Okay, we'll go ahead and break it off there. And now something you'll notice, he's saying he's in Loveland, Ohio. So we can even see where he's at on some of these. And if I go over to Brandmeister, for example, because that's on a bridge, we can see last heard. And we're going to look for hotspots. Let's see if it shows. No, let's go back over here. And again, all this data is on the internet. And if we scroll down, we could probably find their transmissions on here, on the statistics. So that is how you do Brandmeister and DMR-MARC. Let's try another network, and that's going to be the TGIF network. I've found that that's kind of quiet, but we're going to go over there anyway and see what's going on. Now, for Brandmeister, you have a lot of different servers. For DMR-MARC, you have a lot of different servers, but TGIF only seems to have like one on here. I have to scroll down to it. There it is. Here we're going to go ahead and connect. Whoop. Oh, there we go. That's very important. What's going to happen is you have to have the Brandmeister password to get in the Brandmeister. Now you can connect to DMR-MARC. It doesn't need a password, but if it sees one on there, it just kind of ignores it. However, if you go into TGIF and you have a password, it's going to bounce you back out. So now let's try it again, because I've taken that password out. Now we know we're connected because here it shows a internet address. Now you saw on the other ones we had an IP address. Once we're on here, we can look at these talk groups on TGIF. Let's try worldwide. I was on here before and I really didn't hear a lot of activity, so we probably won't stay here very long. And again, you put in the talk group and then you press the TX bar. Now, if you're using a radio and a hotspot or a radio and a repeater, what you would do is on your radio, it would be programmed with different talk groups already, which is a pretty good undertaking in and of itself. But in this case, what you do is you'd switch over to that talk group, and then you would hit your PTT, and that would activate that talk group on a repeater or a hotspot. In this case, since we're not using a radio, we pretty much do the same thing. We put in the talk group, and then we hit the PTT or the TX bar. Okay, we don't hear anything on here, so we're going to take and just go off this network. I'm going to disconnect, and I'm going to go back to Brandmeister. It's my favorite. But what I need to do is, I've already copied, now I'm going to paste my password for DMR. Or I'm sorry, for Brandmeister. I go back over here, go back up to a Brandmeister host, and you can see there's ones all over the world. Normally, I'll just pick one of the ones in the United States. So I'll go to 3101. I'm going to clear that out. Codec's already set, and I'll connect. Okay, I connected rather quickly. You can see at the bottom there's an IP address for the host as a ping count. And we've already started picking up a station on Worldwide 91.
Papa Yankee 2, Whiskey Hotel, QH2WH calling.
Whiskey Papa 4, Lima Zulu from Puerto Rico.
Right now we're listening.
Roger. Whiskey Papa 4. Again.
I'm not transmitting. We're just going to go ahead and listen to what's going on. But at any given time, I just hit the transmit bar. I can transmit. They'll hear me. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect right there. And as I mentioned several times throughout the video, in the description box, I have all these links. First of all, we'll recap. Where to get Dude-Star, where to get your ID, where to get your Brandmeister password. Okay, where to see the talk groups. Talk groups for Brandmeister, talk groups for DMR, MARC, and TGIF. Also on these sites, you simply look for last heard. It lets you know what you see. This particular site I showed here is for PNW, Pacific Northwest Digital.net. That's monitored from the location I'm at in the Pacific Northwest. But you could use that if you want, or if you'd like, you can use ones for Brandmeister. Let's see, TGIF. Let's see if they have a active talker. There we go. And that's what they're doing on that network. So you can see who's active. DMR, let's see if they have that. I'm not sure if they have who's talking or who's transmitting. So we'll probably have to look for that. Brandmeister, it's right here. You can select 10, 25, 50, or all. I always select all, and I just start scrolling down for the talk groups. Last heard, let's go over there. Repeaters and hotspots. And again, as I mentioned, what's going to happen is you're going to come out and appear as a hotspot. You're not going through a repeater. And really what's interesting about this too is because, let's say for example, you have a DMR radio going through a hotspot. So the operator is anywhere from, I don't know, maybe 2 feet away from the hotspot, which is hooked up on his desk in the shack, or he might even be out in the backyard. That's about the furthest he's going to go. And then he's going out over the internet. What this does is this basically cuts out the radio and replaces the hotspot with Dude-Star. Okay, and again, all you need is a microphone, a Windows computer, and a speaker to operate this. It's free and open source. So that is Dude-Star. Now, I also want to point out something else too. Let's say, for example, you're out and about and you're not sitting at your desk with a Windows computer, and you have your mobile phone. So if you want to operate DMR without a radio with your mobile phone, okay, you will go on the Google Play Store with your phone and you'll download Droid-Star. In my case, I already have it installed. And Droid-Star's interface is going to look exactly the same with one exception. It won't have a codec gain. Otherwise, it'll have the modes, it'll have the host for each mode, and settings are going to be the same. You're going to set it up the same way. But instead of Dude-Star, it's going to say Droid-Star, and it's going to be on your phone. What's nice about that is, let's say, for example, if you were doing DMR portable, as people are doing it now, you would take a radio and a hotspot, and you'd head out in your car or what have you. You'd have to take that hotspot, you'd have to tether it to a mobile device because you're away from home, you don't have Wi-Fi. You'd have to power that, and you'd also, of course, power your radio. With Droid-Star, all you need is your phone. You're going to go out over the internet on your phone, and you're going to go out on the DMR network. You don't have to have a radio. You don't have to figure out how to power a hotspot. All you need is your mobile device, your smartphone. And that's it. So that's how you use Droid-Star and Dude-Star to be on DMR radio without the radio.